Flynn, Son of Crimson, is a side-scrolling action platformer from Studio Thunderhorse. Flynn is a young boy who spent his entire life in his home village. When a mystery girl attacks him and drains the life force from his dog Dex, he unlocks his hidden crimson power, and is forced to explore the world to save his best friend, who just so happens to be the guardian spirit of the land. Flynn's quest starts with one story, which is gradually overtaken by another. While the first resolves with little fanfare, Flynn comes to learn about the scars of the country's past, and the truth of his lineage. You'll meet a plethora of characters, some of which will have stories to tell that flesh out the world, but there are far too many, and too few who leave any meaningful impact on the plot, which ends up feeling like well-worn territory. Gameplay fares much better. It's equal parts beat-em-up and puzzle platformer. You'll start with basic sword combos and a roll, but unlock flashy new attacks and weapons alongside his Crimson Control, a berserker state that lets Flynn unleash pure rage on a group of enemies. You'll also be able to make use of ranged elemental magic, which will help solve puzzles and defeat particular enemies with smart use. While the enemy ranks are varied and new monsters are introduced in each stage, a lot of the earlier ones continue to show up throughout. They'll get new attacks or elemental properties to keep things interesting, but the bigger enemies and boss fights do the heavy lifting to keep the combat from getting stale. While not especially difficult, boss encounters will test both your combat and platforming prowess and make for fun spectacles in the moment. The game uses an overworld map, and stages that can have one or two exits leading to alternate paths or challenge arenas. While progression is linear, it's encouraged to jump back to older stages as newer ones can hide keys for locked doors in previous ones. And you'll want to find all those exits, as they'll reward you with more red gems, the currency for upgrading your movesets. The platforming is a highlight. Each level isn't afraid to try something new, and will tailor its challenges to the themes of the area you're in, as well as make good use of the abilities you have at that time. I do wish you were able to quickly select your desired spell or weapon on the fly, however. On a gamepad, you must cycle through them in a set order, and that can interrupt the flow of some of the more involved battles and platforming sections. The stages benefit from the retro pixel art style, with gorgeous backgrounds and distinctly colored themed areas. The visuals evoke a distinct Super Nintendo look that many other 2D games of today don't. It, however, makes poor use of lighting in many areas. Several stages are just too dark for their own good, and hide quality art for the sake of atmosphere. Its music is pleasant and fitting, but otherwise doesn't elevate the experience. Flynn, Son of Crimson has strong art, ideas, and a great combo of action and platforming. However, it doesn't give me anything to latch onto in its world or characters. Despite that stumble, it's a good time from start to finish. The game is out now on PC, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One for $19.99, and included with Xbox Game Pass.